I do a rapid fire question. You don't know what they are. I sent you the other questions beforehand. And it's just a couple, and it's meant to be just straight off the top of your head.
Okay.
First thing you do in the morning.
First thing I do in the morning is put coconut oil in my mouth, and then I go for my walk.
Ah, favorite Instagram or most inspiring Instagram account?
Joe Dispenza.
Ooh,
Dr.
who's
Joe
that?
Dispenza
Oh,
is
wait.
amazing.
I heard about him on the Luke Story podcast. First thing you want to do post-quarantine?
Hug somebody.
Ah, amen to that. Your favorite quote?
Favorite quote is, so you're saying there's a chance.
Very good. So you told us a little about yourself. How has this COVID/quarantine affected you, and how have you adjusted?
So the biggest thing for me personally was that I was coaching a lacrosse team in Palos Verdes, and we were the best team, had the best players, had a great coaching staff along with me, and the expectation was to win a championship. And I had 13 seniors all invested, and then all of a sudden, one day they just say it's all over. So all those dreams you had for the kids was pulled away from you. So to me, that was the hardest thing, was their grief on expectations that they worked towards. So that was the most disappointing. I consider myself lucky and healthy, lucky because I'm healthy enough, but I feel other suffering as an empath. I truly feel the world suffering. So, I'm hurting with everyone else, but not being deterred.
The kids, I keep hearing stories about seniors and their proms and, just the whole graduation ceremony. It's so heartbreaking. It's like, you're going to have amazing experiences down the line, but God, this is like such a big one. I can't even imagine trying to settle them and let them know it's going to be okay and it's temporary.
The cool thing about kids that I've noticed is that they are resilient. So their bounce back is pretty. Generation went to.
We are losing you. There you are.
Do you have me?
Yeah, kind of. You're kind of going in and out. You're frozen now. There you are.
Yeah, but if mine said
We're gonna pull over because.
Sorry.
Nothing's right. All good.
you want to say cool thing. Okay.
What else we got?
So the kids kind of understand from the. So okay, how have you adjusted now? You and on a day-to-day.
Yeah, everything is now online, and it's been such an interesting connection, and a connection in itself, but has made it national. So I'm communicating with people in Chicago or people in Australia or, New York. So it's pretty cool that we're all getting to be together. So, anything, there's always black and white. On this whole spiritual path, there's always going to be pain. With pleasure, there's pain. So understanding that, pain is with pleasure, but you don't need to suffer. So
How was the learning curve of going online?
It is a curve because, what I cherish is seeing people. I don't get to see them, so I'm just going by my intuition and not really reading the room or reading how people are reacting. So you just hope that you're getting something across.
I mean, your class, I'll tell you from taking it, it's seriously like, I'm going to ask you about it a little bit, but it's honestly like, it is, like I was so angst out today, sitting on the hold for a stupid bank for an hour just to close an account. And I literally was like ready to go, just forget it. I'm just going to but I made myself go, and it's like total game changer as far as like what I felt like 5 hours ago and what I feel like now. It's like, thank you. I'm grateful for finding this. Sorry?
Go ahead. Game changer for sure. The hardest thing is actually getting there, right? We don't want to schedule our time. We have 100 things to do. But what we don't realize about meditation, or we hear it, it creates more time.
It does, and honestly, like right now, obviously, it's the best time because usually my day starts at like 6 in the morning in someone's store, and I'm standing on the floor all day. I don't stop for lunch, and then I get in the car and I drive for almost 2 hours sometimes home. And you get home, and that's the last thing you want to do, and it's probably the thing you need to do most. So it's kind of nice to be able to start this practice when you have time to do it, and so I feel like then it will become more of a habit. At least that's my hope. You have recently gone into the prison system to teach prisoners breath work. Will you tell people a little bit about that and just tell everybody about the experience?
So I don't know if it's ironic or not that I did breath work in the prison, and now, we kind of feel like we're in our own little micro prisons being quarantined.
Yeah.
So I like to think that there's reasons behind everything, and I don't have to know them. But going into the prison, when I got the phone call, I said, I had to think about it because I had fear and I was scared. And then recognizing that fear and realizing that that's where the growth is getting past the fear. So I said yes. I went in. Me and a buddy of mine were talking worst case scenarios, and of course our worst case scenarios are what if I get stabbed? What if it's me in a yard with 50 inmates, and 40 of them were murderers, and 10 of them were other crimes that I don't want to talk about.
Holy
So
cow.
it was 50 hardcore lifers, but they became humanized very quickly. They came up to me, they shook my hand, they looked me in the eye. I was nervous, but I didn't want to show fear. I didn't know where to look. And once the breath work started, I felt them starting to open up, and it was belief in this breath work of how tangible it is letting go of barriers that we self-impose. So these prisoners would open up through the breath, becoming an expansive, and you can see that they wanted me to come over to them. I remember sitting down next to this guy with a teardrop in his eye, this guy who I thought was like mad dogging me, looking at me, sizing me up, and then I could feel that he just wanted me next to him. And it was such a empowering experience to be accepted by people who may or may not have accepted me, unknowingly. And then at the end of it, these guys don't like to share. They don't like to show any type of insecurity or what perceived weakness.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, seeing one or two of them cry openly, hearing one say it's the first time he felt liberated. It was the first time that he felt freedom in his 14 years of being locked up. One other guy said it's the first time he felt love. So to hear these inmates express themselves in ways that exposed them was like, this is unreal. And it made me humanize the whole experience, realizing that, I'm not condoning, obviously, murder. I'm not condoning anybody's actions. But what I think is that nobody deserves to live in suffering. And if I could provide a little reprieve from that suffering, then I'm giving them a gift that they can do on their own. I want everyone to know that this isn't me. This is what we have inside of us. I am just somebody who practices it, therefore I share it.
Were they open to it in the beginning? I mean, was this a mandated thing for all of them, or is this something they signed up and they wanted to do?
Yeah, they do it. The funny thing for me was there's 2 prison yards, and one of them is like isolated community or whatever, and they've been doing that there for 5 years. And she's like, all right, Lane, you're going into the general population. This is their first time doing it. We don't know what to expect. And I was like, all right, this is awesome. Let's go.
Jump.
Jumped right in. And they were so open accepting because they did a yoga session before, which I think helped ground them. And then we went into the breath work, and speaking with them, they're just like, oh, man, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. So, and also as you felt from doing my class, you truthfully get kind of high on it. You get right?
Today I came out to the garage because Dave's out shaping a board that's his stress relief. And I came out and I'm like, I seriously feel like I'm either going to pass out or I said, I'm like shaking. It was the like literally like levitating, like crazy. I can't even explain it. Like I really have never, ever gone there. Like the last class, with your classes, I go there. Like I've never, ever experienced anything like it.
Right. Thank you. And me too. And that's why I want to share it because it's, out of all the modalities I've done, it's the one that's tangible. And we all kind of want tangibility, right? We go to a therapist, which is amazing, but you keep going back and, we're looking for answers. We're here. You find your own vibration. It's amazing.
Tell people